please. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Welcome to the final day of the Intentional Parents Academy conference. It's been loaded. It's been powerful back to back from about our 26 speakers. And I must say, we're already getting testimonies from people that have been attending that it has been life changing. I'm sure you're wondering whose face is this. You're probably so used to seeing my boss, Mrs. Wendy Ologe, the visionary behind the Intentional Parents Academy. My name is Ifeoluwa Adegoke. I am honored to be the personal assistant to Mrs. Wendy Ologe. And as you all know, she will be taking the session today. Yes, we'll be taking the session today on becoming an Intentional Parents Academy. So I've been privileged to catch up on some of the things that the speakers have been saying, and I must say they are life changing. They are life changing, and I'm looking forward to this to this session today because like my boss will always it's her natural forte to always spit fire when it comes to these things. Yes, it's quite natural for her. So yes, the Intentional Parents Annual Conference 2020. So the theme has been creating a better world through parenting, and of course, powered by yours truly, the Intentional Parents Academy. Um, yeah, so let's talk about Mrs. Wendy a bit. I'm sure some people here already know so much about her, but please indulge me. Yeah, so who is Wendy Ologe and why should you listen to her? I'm sure some people will be asking these questions in their mind, yes? Yeah, so Wendy Ologe is a seasoned coach and of parenting, author of parenting bestsellers. Yes, Connect to Correct and the Discipline That Works. So, and also from Yelling to Come, our books that have sold over 10,000 copies in all 36 states in Nigeria and about 20 other countries in the world, including US and UK. Her book, The Discipline That Works, which was launched in November 1st, 2019, sold over 1,000 copies in print the same month. Wendy Ologe also have three upcoming parenting books soon to be released in 2020. She aims to change the narrative of parenting using her books and online courses. Yes, so yes, she's the founder of the Intentional Parents Academy, as you might all know. Yes, which is a coaching outfit dedicated to equipping parents and intending parents to intentionally raise their children positively, especially in the face of our decaying societal values. I mean, that's one thing that is very, very important in in building a better nation and a better society. TIP Academy currently runs diverse courses online, which solves different issues in parenting with thousands of parents that has been helped so far. Yes, so the academy also runs an academy of alumni in TIP Academy. We believe that parenting is a journey, not an end. As my boss will say, some people will believe that you can just wave a magic wand and it will fix everything. No, but it is a journey. We believe that it is a journey and not an end. Yes, and also more on Mrs. Wendy. I'm not done yet, too. Yes, yes, yes. So, Wendy has spoken on many stages, including being interviewed by the biggest Christian TV network in Africa, Christian Broadcasting Network (CBN) Africa, and on their famous TV program, The 700 Club. She was interviewed and aired both nationally and internationally, including TBN, which is the biggest Christian television network in the world, and Channels Television Nigeria. In 2020, in 2019, I beg your pardon, Wendy represented Africa at the Facebook Global Parenting Panel at their headquarters in California, United States. Her group, the Intentional Parents on Facebook, with over 32,000 parents on their platform, was recognized as one of the most relevant, engaging groups in Africa. She has also spoken at Social Media Week Lagos, which is Africa's largest tech business event. In 2020, Wendy was chosen by Facebook among 100 others to represent Facebook as a global leader. Yes, so yes, we can see Global Parenting Summit, October 2019, Facebook headquarters, California, USA, representing Africa, representing Nigeria, and the Global Parenting Summit. And we also have the Global Parenting Summit that she was privileged to be a part of, and the Global Community Lead for Facebook. Yes, this is one of the titles that Facebook, when you're doing exceptionally well, that Facebook gave that fee to hold this position. And of course, if you've been following Mrs. Wendy, she has parents that she tutors or she coaches personally to help them on their journey. It is her vision, and she has done this on so many platforms. And TIP annual conference is one of the ways that she's expressing this to the world, to make the world a better place. This event has been loaded and it has been cost-free. And this is one of the ways Mrs. Wendy has chosen to impact our world. It's a privilege to be here. And of course, I'm sure you're supercharged, you're super ready to listen to Mrs. Wendy Ologe, the Intentional Parents Academy visionary, the woman behind all of it. So she's also the executive director of Smart Office, a corporate organization focused on developing businesses through capacity building, provision of service workspace and hostels for students. Her work experience includes years in international non-governmental organizations with over 10 years of experience in USAID leading projects. Wendy also has experience in the banking sector. She likes to refer to her husband as the governor and a god. Yes, I'm very familiar with this one. Their union of over 11 years is blessed with 2 biological children, one of which is my namesake. Yes, and a foster daughter. Yes, it's a privilege to be here. I believe we are ready to be, I like to use the word blessed, yes, because I believe it's a blessing to be here and be transformed on our parenting journey. Welcome, Mrs. Wendy Ologe. It's a privilege to have you here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Ife. I'm so honored. I've worked with Ife for a while now, and I tell you, you ask of the best PA you can have, you have it right there. Thank you so much, Ife. I really, really, really appreciate it. All right, so let's get to it. My name is Wendy Ologe, and you're wondering what I'm wearing. Yes, I am a VIP parent at the Intentional Parent Academy. I know that the VIP parent in our academy is going to have my head at the moment I'm done with this conference and ask for their t-shirts. Yes, this is part of the programs that we run. The VIP Circle for Parents in the academy is actually an annual coaching sector. You've heard me talk about my yard people. Yes, these are the people that I refer to as my yard people. Thank you so much, everybody. I am excited to be here. Trust me, this is one of my most exciting moment. Talking at the TIP annual conference, the final day. Last year was awesome. Now this year we're here. We've hit back to back over 10,000 views on our YouTube channel on this conference. If you're not watching, then you are wrong. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be sharing my slide halfway, and I'm also going to be teaching halfway without the slide. The reason why I'm going to be sharing the slide is that this slide was made by my daughter. So we had a conversation on what I wanted to talk about. I wrote down, my scripting. And then she said to me, but Mom, I can create a slide for you. So I am sharing this slide because of, I usually don't really talk with slides, but I'm going to share this slides now. Thank you. So that, permit me, please, so that I can share my slide with you. All right. So my slide is going to come up. Our topic is becoming the intentional parent. Becoming the intentional parent. That's what we're talking about today. And this is the TIP Annual Conference 2020. We're talking becoming the intentional parent. Sorry, I need to find that slide right away. All right. Okay, so if you're just joining us, please make sure that you share this video. Make sure that you invite someone to join us today so that we can have an amazing time at this conference. Apologies, I'm trying to call up my screen. I'm trying to call up my screen so that we can run on this conversation. I don't know how I lost I don't know how I lost I lost my screen just before now. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. Trying to work this out. Okay, all right. I'm having issues trying to call up my screen. I can't even, because I'm using another system to call it up. I can't even call it up. All right. So the screen is going to come up, but I'm going to just start. I'm having help call up the screen for me. It's not waiting. All right. Okay. Awesome. My screen is here, up here. Thank you so much. Thank you. The governor came to my rescue. All right. Thank you. Awesome. So we're here. Good evening. We're here and we're talking becoming an intentional parent by Wendy Ologe. I'm the founder of the Intentional Parents Academy. In case you're just joining me, this is me in my whole self. Speaking at the final session of the Intentional Parent TRP Conference 2020. If you're joining me, like I said, if you're just joining me, this is our grand finale. And we are trying to, ask, what does it, take to become an intentional parent? When you take a look at this, my slide, in fact, my daughter chose this picture and I had a good laugh. All right. This is her idea of the, the family setting. Okay. So what are we going to be sharing? We're going to be sharing who is an intentional parent, the qualities of an intentional parent, and how do I start my intentional parenting journey. A lot of coaches have come here to share a lot about parenting and different facets of it. Now, today, what we're doing is to bring these thoughts together and say, this is what you need to start your journey. That's what we're doing today. This is what you need to start your journey. Thank you for joining me. I'm privileged to be speaking with you. Take a look at this slide. It says, who exactly is an intentional parent? I like to usually use this quote. Parenting is about you and not your child. It's one of my most favorite quotes from my book, Connect to Correct. If you don't have a copy of Connect to Correct, run, go get a copy. Trust me. Most of the things that were shared at this conference are things that we've shared, we've talked about, and we've also gone around on, especially when it comes to books that you can read. Children become who you are, not what you say. As you raise them, also remember to raise yourself too, because parenting is about you. In fact, my daughter went on Google when she was looking for stuff to create this slides for me. My daughter is 10. Her name is Ife, also, by the way. And she brought out this. Google gave her this, and when she was trying to put who is an intentional parent, and it came up, and it was my quote, and she was so excited. She was like, Mom, here is your quote. You said you wrote this and you shared it, and it just popped up. Children become who you are, not what you say. As you raise them, remember to raise yourself too, because parenting is about you. Okay. Now, what exactly is the focus of intentional parenting? That's what we need to ask. What exactly is the focus of intentional parenting? That is the heart of intentional parenting. How are we spending our time together? What are we intentionally teaching and modeling? Are we intentionally imparting godly wisdom and providing spiritual guidance? These are the questions you want to ask yourself when you want to say what exactly is the focus of intentional parenting. I've heard a lot of people say things like, all this intentional parenting that they are talking about, they just want us not to beat our children. It's usually very funny to me, honestly, because I don't even understand where we got that from. That becoming intentional with your children means that you're going to make them, not to be useful. Where did we get that from? Intentional parenting is actually the height of it when it comes to, parenting people who are responsible. You can't even raise irresponsible children and say you are intentionally parenting them. You need to understand that intentional parenting is about building successful adults, not just, you sitting down and, bantering. Okay? So we shall teach. This is what the scriptures say. All right, I'm a Bible scholar, and if you know me, if you followed my works, you will know that I do a lot, from the Bible. The scripture said, "You shall teach diligently to your children, and they shall talk of it when you sit in your house." It didn't say when you're following them about to. He said when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise up. It means that you will have peace if you teach diligently. Replace that word intentionally. Intentionally. If you replace that word with intentionally, you will find out that when you raise intentional children, then you go to sleep. It's important for us to understand that when we say we're raising children intentionally, we're not saying you should just sit down and you will rest. You are buying your peace. That's what I say. You are buying your peace the moment you begin to raise intentional children. Now look at it. Intentional parenting does not demand perfection. Let me say that again. Intentional parenting does not demand perfection. It's not a journey to perfection. Many times parents come to me and say, "Oh, so what if I finish doing all this and I'm doing, and then my children does not turn out right?" There's a limit to what you can actually control. The one you can control is being able to give your child what is required per time and raising your child intentionally. So it's not about perfection, it's about your journey and how you work it, because it requires us to be deliberate. It requires us to be intentional. So to be intentional, to be an intentional parent, you must remember the following. Now let's get there. You must remember the following. Intentional parenting is rational. It's relational, sorry. Intentional parenting is relational. It's something that you can relate with. It's relational. It's not abstract. Can we stop looking at intentional parenting as something that is abstract? Intentional parenting is not abstract. It's very, very relational. And I have a lot to share this evening, so I'm going to run, very quickly. Intentional parenting is consistently attentive. Consistently attentive. Intentional parenting is not a sit back on the armchair kind of parenting and will be able to do it. No. It's consistency. It needs your attention consistently. All right? So look at this quote. I shared it some time ago. If you don't spend time meeting the emotional needs of your child, you will spend time dealing with the behavior from that unmet need. Either ways, you do the time. The truth is, you're going to do the time anyway. I usually say, if you don't pay the price today, you will pay the price tomorrow. Either way, you pay a price. There's nothing free in the world. Nothing. Nothing comes to you free. Nothing comes to you free. What you see a lot of the times is that, we say, oh, we got this thing free. The question you need to ask yourself when you're getting it free is, at what cost? At what cost? That's the question. I was having a conversation with a particular, a family, and they were saying, oh, they moved to a particular environment, and they're not paying because it's her father-in-law's house and all that and all that. But when I looked at what has happened to her children in the past how many years, I asked myself, that house, is it really free? There's a cost attached to everything that you do. A cost is attached. The moment you begin to look at things that, oh, I do not want to pay a price, then there's a problem with that journey. You will do the time. You will pay the price either way. Right? Intentional parenting is instructional. It's not possessional. Coach Sam Obafemi shared that earlier today. Intentional parenting is instructional. It's not about your possession. You don't own your child. You do not. I'm going to say that again and again. You don't own your child. You are a guardian. That's who you are. You are a guardian. You were called to raise another God. The moment you begin to think that because you're raising a child, then you own them. Is it not this my child? Someone even told me, is it not this my small Emeka boy? I had a good laugh. Earlier today, some above me said, no one person had the whole knowledge about a single human being. You can't even know your child, know everything about your child. That's, many times when parents say that, is it not my child? I know my child. I can do everything for my child. I look at them and it's sometimes I'm like, not being able to actually come in contact with a lot of things. Instruction doesn't necessarily mean talking all the time. That's another thing you need to know. Instruction doesn't necessarily mean talking all the time. This quote says, your life is a curriculum. Your life is a curriculum. You, the parent, are the best teacher for your children. The way you live your life every day is the best curriculum. The question this evening you need to ask yourself, what curriculum is your child reading in your life? So when I say it's instructional, all you need to do is to walk and your children will follow. That's what we mean by it's instructional. It's not by you preaching from morning till night and saying, yes, I told the child. No way. That's not what it is. Let's get down to the real deal. Now, the qualities of an intentional parent. This is where the slide, might have to stop the slide, and then when we're done with this, I'm going to move without a slide. Qualities of an intentional parent, excuse me. Number one, an intentional parent is an influencer. An intentional parent is an influencer. One of the major, most critical thing you will need to look at is how much you have been able to influence your child. I've said this over and again. Authority is not fear and control. Authority is respect and trust. Your child needs an influencer, not a commander. Your child needs an influencer, not a commander, my dear parents. No child needs a commander. Your child is not interested in your commands. What your child needs is someone who will influence them. Let me say this. You only have positive influence in an atmosphere of closeness, trust, with no fear of blame, shame, or pain. Let me say that again. You only have positive influence in an atmosphere of closeness and trust with no fear of blame, shame, or pain. Check your process as a parent today. Does it have element of blame, shame, pain? You are not influencing. You are forcing. And your force has a limit. There's a limit where you can force someone. There's a limit to where you can force someone. And that limit is actually what is our problem. And the moment we hit that limit, there's a problem. We begin to run helter-skelter. That's what the problem is. We begin to run helter-skelter. That is it. You have a a limit. You are limited with force. With influence, you are not limited. You are not limited with influence. You can influence your child to the end if you create an influence. Your child needs an influencer, not a controller. How much have you influenced your child? I want you to write that. I want you to put that in your jotter. How much have you influenced your child? Are you able to connect and influence your child positively? That is what matters. That is what matters. It's not how much you have beaten the child, or you have quoted the spare the rod. I don't even want to go into the spare the rod quote. Every speaker that was here in this conference touched that topic. And I tell you, there is nothing you can say that force will be able to achieve what you need to achieve as regards raising children. The next thing that you need to understand, and I am trying to define intentional, and this is my definition of intentional. I said number I, you need to be an influencer. Number B, N, you are not infallible. I said earlier on that the infallibility narrative in parenting is a faulty one. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. The infallibility narrative in parenting is faulty. I am infallible. I can't do, there's nothing can, no, I am the high and the mighty. It does not exist anywhere. For you to actually be able to walk this journey intentionally, you must wear your humility gown. My young people are here. The TIP VIP group are here. We use this word. It was actually formed by one of us. When she said, Tima was also one of the speakers. When she said, I learned to go and sew an extra cloth of humility. You are not infallible, my dear parent. No one is. No one human being is. Let me tell you, when you project the infallibility narrative, what exactly happens to your parenting? You tell your child that you are perfect. So what it means is that since you're perfect, they cannot trust you because they are not. You know, they are humans. So human beings will naturally make mistakes. So when they make mistakes, they are looking for that parent that is not going to, they are looking for that. It's not even necessarily a parent, anybody that will not judge them. You will actually see that you will actually be thinking that, oh, I'm doing something. Oh, there's something I'm really showing. You are not. You have lost your child. Many times when parents come to me and say, hey, it's not my child, I know my child. That's not true. You have lost your child. If you're not influencing, if you're not modeling fallibility, you have lost that child. No matter who that child is. You have totally lost that child. Let's move. The next one, T, means teacher. If you're an intentional parent, you're a teacher. There was something my pastor said this morning, and I would like to quote him. Teaching means repetition. Repetition. When you're teaching, you're constantly repeating. That's what teaching is about. We're here shouting, oh, the child is not learning. Parents come to me and say, I've been talking, I've been telling him, but your children go to school. Teachers will teach one topic. Oh. Then when they don't understand, you go back to school to go and fight the teacher. Are you not a teacher? Are you not a teacher? Why are you fighting your child? Because you have taught the child for 3 months and you believe, I've taught the child for 3 months. So the child needs to know that they need to know what to do. Let me share that quote with you. Repetition is for emphasis. Emphasis is for impression. Do you want to make an impression? Then you need to repeat. Repetition is for emphasis. And emphasis is for impression. If you do not make emphasis, you cannot make impressions. Are you raising your child thinking you don't want to be repeating? Somebody will say, I've been teaching you, I'm repeating the same thing. So that's why I'm always beating. You are just being lazy. That's all. Because emphasis is what brings impression. Repetition is for emphasis sake. So if you're going to make emphasis, if you're going to make impression, you need to continually repeat what you're saying. So you repeat for emphasis. And when you make emphasis, there is an impression. So you're the teacher. You are a teacher. You're a teacher to your child. You need to see where we are making visible demonstrations in my home. Visible demonstrations. You're jumping up and down and trying to claim the Bible told you that you need to not to spare the rod. Forgive me to disappoint you. That's not it. What it is that you need to actually begin to teach. Your job as a parent is first as a teacher. You have no right to discipline a child you haven't taught. I've said that again. You have no right to discipline a child you haven't taught what to do. That was what our parents did. Unfortunately, that's the circle we are repeating. Because I say that parenting characteristics are reflective. So we find ourselves constantly reflecting what our parents have done. E, let's go. E is for evolver. There's no word like that. I just can't call it. You need to evolve. You need to evolve. If you're not evolving on your journey, there's something wrong. Stop telling me that's how you are. Stop telling me that's how they raised you. Excuse me. If there's something wrong with how they raised you, correct it. Correct it. It's our job to evolve. Parenting has evolved me as an individual. If you're not evolving, if you're not changing, if you're not learning, there's something wrong with your journey. You need to begin to think how to evolve. Evolve. You must be an evolver. I hear parents say things like, in our time, in our time, in our time. That's how it used to be. Which time? If you continue to quote that in our time, you lose your children. You continue to quote in our time, you lose your children. Because let me tell you, there's nothing about your time that is practically the same thing with the time that we're raising children today. Which your time? How many pornography did you see growing up? And you're telling me your time? In which time? I call it the inability to actually be culturally intelligent. We are not intelligent with the culture we're dealing with in today's parenting. So you need to evolve. Stop saying that's how I am. Stop. Get help if you need help. That's not how you are. That's not how you must pass your children. Stop casting limiting beliefs on your children. Stop casting limiting beliefs on your children. That's how I was raised. They beat me and I turned out well. Who told you? Who told you? Evolve. Begin to evolve. That's what makes you an intentional parent. The next one is N. You are not a manipulator when you're an intentional parent. You are not a manipulator when you are an intentional parent. You need to learn not to manipulate. You see all these things that we're trying to cut corners, you want to manipulate your children to be on, it's not going to work. You need to learn to be true to your journey. Learn to share truth with your children. Truth. No matter how painful it is for you. Truth. A lot of us want to, rigor our ways out of truth because you want to manipulate a child. You think the child is foolish? No, the child is not foolish. When you manipulate, the child is waiting at one corner and saying, that's the parent. Right? Number T, you need to be tenacious. Grit is one thing that you must have as an intentional parent. I'm going to buttress my point with a story. I once met a man, when I was traveling, and this man had a son. He had 3 sons go to the US school, come out with good grades too. And the third one went there and got into drugs. There were lots and lots of stuff that happened. He got into drugs. It was a mess. For 3 years, he was in the US doing drugs. He said he was ashamed to go and bring him. He said at some point, he read a book, The Power of Reading. He read a book and he realized that he could take charge. He went and took charge of the situation, brought the child back to, Nigeria and started to help the son. Well, time will not permit me to share all the rigors of this story. He helped the son emotionally, most importantly. The son went back to school in Liverpool. And the day I met him, the son was graduating as the best graduating student in his class in Liverpool. You must be tenacious. You hit one roadblock. You say, hey, all this intentional parenting thing they are telling us is not working. Who told you? You need grit to be able to do this. You must be innovative. Your head, your thinking capability must be on fire. Innovation. You must be innovating at every point in time. Stop telling me you don't know what to do with your child. Stop. Read. Attend courses. Be innovative. Be innovative. If you do not innovate, the time will actually pass you by. It will pass you by. You'll be there saying, hey, they beat us now. Hey, it's the same thing they did to us. If you're not innovative, you are in trouble. With the 21st century child, you are in trouble. There's a lot on the table. You must be innovative. All right. So let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. Time is running. The next thing is that you need order. As an intentional parent, you need order. You can't just wake up and just be telling me doing things anyhow and you say you are intentional. How? You need order. What are your goals as a parent? Have you ever asked yourself that? What are your goals as a parent? What goals do you have as a parent? Are you just everywhere they tell us? A goal without a plan is just a wish. Tomorrow belongs to people who prepare for today. Tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for today. You need to prepare. What is your parenting plan? In the VIP circle, we created a parenting plan from the beginning of the year that we have constantly followed every day. Let me share one of the testimonies that we have from the VIP circle. So we had a parent. I have permission to share this story, by the way. We have this parent who, she's been beating, yelling, screaming, and all that. She didn't know that abuse was going on in her home. Her foster daughter was abusing her son, who was only about 5 or so. The boy couldn't speak up. The boy told her eventually, he said, Mommy, it's when you used to beat. When he was found out, he said, Mommy, you were beating. So I didn't know if I told you that if something happened with this auntie, you were going to beat me. And you're telling me you want to continue to beat. Why not find innovative ways to be able to do this? Plan. What are your plans? I hear parents say, so today I have decided to be an intentional parent. How? Deciding is far from it. You can decide. You can finish attending this conference and nothing works. Quote me. You can finish attending this conference and nothing works. It will be back to status quo. You need to take steps. If you don't take steps, nothing works. You need to take steps. What steps are you taking? What are your plans? Have you been able to look at the places, the loopholes you have as a parent to begin to walk your journey? What are the loopholes that you have? Are you looking at them judiciously? Are you planning? What are your plans? Don't tell me that, because I'm believing that God will do it. That is God that will do it. What is that? God does not answer people who do nothing. Go and read the scriptures. The problem is that a lot of us are not even reading the scriptures. People who do nothing don't get answers from God. You need to do something. What are your plans? What are you planning? What are you planning? Praying without plan. Prayer is good. Trust me, in my circle, I'm a prayer warrior. Hallelujah. But I tell you, you plan to do nothing, nothing works. Nothing works. So you can finish saying, yeah, shouting word. Hey, this one, putting all the nuggets. Forget it. If you do not stand up to take a plan today, nothing will work. What plan have you taken since this conference started? What have you done? What have you done? Another thing, is that you must become a negotiator. Negotiate. You need to learn. Stop this high horse, my way or the highway kind of parenting thing. Negotiate. People say, does it mean that when we stop flogging, we are now going to become permissive? How? Have you met my children? Permissive. How? From where? That's not what it is. But there's no permissiveness around me, my parenting. Everybody who knows me personally knows this. Good enough, my children proprietors is here watching. I'm sure my parents are logged on watching. My friends are here watching. People who know me personally know that there's nothing like that. You need to learn the skill of negotiation. You must be attentive. You see this thing that we're saying, we don't have time. When people say I don't have time, it gets on my head. I feel like my head is bringing fire. You're not busier than most of us. You're not. The problem is that you don't know what to do with the time you have. Learn, you said no. You don't know what to do with the time you have. It is not about how long of a time that you have. It's about how well that you're looking at what you're doing. It's about how well, being available without content and connection is rubbish. The problem is not whether parents are available. Many parents are available. The problem is, what are they available doing? That's where the challenge is. What are these parents available doing? Number L, you must be a learner and a leader. You must be a learner and a leader. If you're not learning on this journey, no one person knows their child. Human being is too complex to know everything about them. Do you know, as I am, I'm sure my daughter's to be mentor is probably watching me. I've already crafted. I've told her, we have had a conversation. You are the one, I'm watching you. You are the one that is going to mentor this girl in this aspect of life. You think I want to do everything? Why? How? A team the other day was sharing about purity plan. I have a purity plan for my son, and I know how he's going to be able to carry it out. We're not leaving anything to chance. The important thing that you must ask yourself today is, if I stand in the front of a creator, God, and God asks me, what have you done? What will be your response? If God asks you today, you die, you go to heaven or wherever, and God will ask you, what have you been able to All right. So sorry about that. I had a network hitch, but that has been sorted. Okay. So sorry about that. All right. So we're talking about the qualities of an intentional parent, and we've been able to define intentional. Now, what are the steps for becoming an intentional parent? What can I do to become more intentional? I know that that's a question you are asking now. What can I do to become more intentional? What exactly can I begin to do? Number one, declare who you want to be. Declare who you want to be. It's important, okay? Declare who you want to be. What are the qualities you want to bring to your parenting? What is missing in this time? Is it acceptance? Is it curiosity? Is it connection? What is missing? Is there something you need to learn to make your parenting journey better now? Write it down. Don't go out of this place without writing it down. Declare who you want to be. That's number one step. Number two, grow your awareness. Grow your awareness. Pay attention to what is happening in your body when things get tense. What are the signals? Show up. Let's, what is the problem? Tension, angry. What is the problem? Pay attention to your body. As you become more familiar with patterns, you will start to catch, patterns and begin to know where you need to do what you need to do per time. Very, very important. You must be able to grow your awareness. Number 3, work on you first. Parenting is about you, not your child. Work on you first. The first thing when parents come to me and say, oh, my child did this, my child did, I will say, ma, are you ready to walk on this journey with me? Sir, are you ready for us to work together? It is about you first. If you didn't hear anything in this conference, just know that parenting is about you, not your child. Parenting is about you, not your child. Work on you first. Create a practice, routines. Routines will help you be able to get into your space as an intentional parent. Create a practice. In my book, Connect to Correct, I shared on, how, to be able to actually connect using routines. What are you doing? You don't know what to do? Read a book. Connect to Correct is an amazing place to start your intentional parenting journey. Trust me. Connect to Correct is an amazing place to start your intentional parenting journey. It's not because I'm the author, but because I have seen a lot of people get transformed just by reading that book, Connect to Correct. So you need to begin to create a practice. All right? The next one is that you need to get present. Stop telling me you don't have time. You have time. It depends on how much you want to give to your children. Everybody has time for everything. As busy as I am, I have time for my relationships. Friends, yes, I have friends. I have an amazing inner circle that you don't even want to think about. Amazing. I'm very close to my siblings. I have an amazing relationship with them. I have an amazing relationship with friends. I have acquaintances. So get present. Get present. I want to share a quote with you. It's not necessarily about spending time with your children. It's about connection and content. Making sure those times are memorable. Many times we have time. But we do not know what to do. We do not know what to do. So our problem is that we don't know what to do many of the times. So you need to ask yourself, do I know what to do? That's the question you need to begin to ask yourself. Do I know exactly what to do when I'm with my children? Get present. You need to begin to really be present. Are you present pressing your phone? And you say, I've been with the children since morning. Is that you being present? You're not present. Trust me. Like my daughter will say, Mommy, you're not listening. When you're doing your phone, you're not listening. And that's the truth. Learn to listen. Learn to be present in the moment where you must be present. The next one is you must notice what is available. When you find out, when you commit to a new way of being, a more intentional parent, connected, being with your children, you need tools. You need to ask yourself, what are the tools available to me? What are the tools available to me? You need to go read books. Find out the tools that you can use to start your journey today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't say, when they finish the conference, after, I will just continue. No. Another thing that you must understand is that you must trust the process. Trust the process. You start your intentional parenting journey. 2 days after, you say, this thing is not working, this thing is not working. It's a journey. It's not an end. When you come to the TIP Academy, one thing that I say to you is, I do not have a magic wand. If you're looking for a magic wand, don't bother. Don't come and ask me for parenting hacks. I don't have. It's a journey. I do not have hacks. How can you hack on human beings? Are you guys kidding me? I don't have hacks. It's a journey. It takes time. Trust this process. It takes time. It takes time. You have dropped a cake, you want to just jump and say, hey, things are not beating the children. The children are not. Can you even be patient and trust your process? You've got it. You need to follow these steps and begin to transform your experience. Our children are also our teachers. And there's so many lessons that we can learn along the way. When we choose to be actively participants in their growth, influencers of their life, everything changes. When you choose to be actively participate in their growth, become influencers of their lives, everything changes. Quote me, anywhere, everything changes. Lastly, I'm going to be sharing with you, what are the tools for intentional parenting? What are the tools you can need for intentional parenting? Learn to speak with boundaries, not necessarily with no. I'm going to explain. Right here. Can anybody hear me? All right, awesome. All right. So sorry about that. I had a bit of a technical hitch. Speak with boundaries, but not necessarily no. Sometimes parenting without saying no is a great option. Parenting, let me say that again. Parenting without saying no can be a great option. It doesn't mean it's never about, letting your child run the show. No. It just means that you're guiding your child and directing them to what you want and fulfilling your expectations for them. It's an approach to help your child, shape what you want your child, rather than what you don't want them to do. So it is like moving away from fear to caution. I've said that again and again. Parenting is about caution, not fear. When you project fear in your process, you miss it. Your process is in caution and not in fear. Another thing you must know is that you must get knowledge, more knowledge. Let me share a very interesting conversation. They happen in one of our courses. We have a course called Walking Your Child Through Puberty. The first time we launched, we had about 64 parents take that course. It's right in the academy, www.theintentionalparentacademy.com. Walking your child through puberty. It walks you through all the process, the things you need to teach your child, including pornography, including tech, including LGBTQ, including the process, how you will take care of yourself in the process without getting overwhelmed. One of the parents, came back to me to say, after I was done with this course, I was asking myself, where have I been? I have lots of parents who have actually attended that course and they can testify to that. Get knowledge. Stop thinking you know everything. Stop thinking you know everything. You don't. You don't. Me that is speaking here, I don't know everything. I don't. I've been privileged to listen in all the sessions in this, for every person who is speaking, I'm like, oh, wow, interesting. I'm writing, I'm picking lessons. Stop saying you know everything. No, you don't. Get knowledge. Start by simply picking books to read. Read to help yourself. When people say, oh no, today we shared that quote, is people who flog children. People who flog children are because they are confused. The group has been on fire. People that are not even in the conference, they are shouting, hey, what do you mean? How do you mean? How can you say that we are confused? The Bible says that when people will come, there will be false prophet. There's nothing I've not read on that thread. I'm laughing. Have you even stopped for a moment to tell yourself that you don't know everything? That there's something you do not know. When I hear people argue that point, I laugh. They say, it is because we want to borrow Western culture. Which Western culture? You didn't know that in Africa, children were not eat before the colonization happened. You did not know. We just come out to come and argue things we do not understand. When you do, you're putting yourself in trouble. Get knowledge. Fill your cup first. That's the third thing you must do. Fill your cup. You can't pour from an empty place. Fill your cup. Get relaxed. Fill your cup. When you are, when you're put together, it's actually very, very difficult for you to parent with so much agitation. Look at yourself. Step back. Don't put all the burden on your head. And that comes because you are able to actually teach your children. My 10-year-old cooks. I can't remember the last time I was in the kitchen. Oh, okay. I think a few days ago, I helped them to make something that they were battling with. If you are able to train your children properly, believe you me, you will not be shouting, Bible said they should spare the rod. Train your children. Stop arguing. Train them properly. Teach them what they should know per time. What they should know per time. I shared this slide, earlier on. I said my daughter made it. My daughter understood, understands a lot of things. My son was the person who moved these two systems and told me, oh, I need to use this. The other night, I had finished the conference so late. I couldn't come out. We have something we call ritual talk in my home. I couldn't go in to go and have ritual talks with them. As I was walking into my bedroom, I saw a sign, a beautiful written letter. I thought I brought it here to read. I don't have it. My daughter was telling me, oh, Mom, I know you must be very tired. And I know that, oh, these things are, you've really done so well. God will replenish your strength. And I read that thing and I shed a tear. It's not about you are with the children 24 hours. What impact are you making? What impact are you making being with them? I finished this class now. My daughter can go as far as, our foster daughter can go as far as saying, oh, you want this one to be done, you want this one to be done, and everybody is dotting on you. Why? Does it mean that because I do so I'm permissive? I'm permissive. How does that even, somebody is saying I should explain ritual thoughts. I'm going to explain that when I'm done. Sorry about that. I will. Fill your cup. You can't parent from an empty cup. I have an interesting inner circle. When we're done, we can just go out. Sometimes we even do as much as do some kind of very, very interesting, crazy thing. All right? You need to understand that if you parent from a good place, your children will learn empathy. Empathy. Have empathy on yourself first. Your children will begin to learn empathy. I remember when our foster daughter went to camp, she went to camp as a copper. She got there and she had empathy moved her to begin to live family values. Part of our family values is impacting the world. And I tell you, we are living it. So because we are living it, it's easy for our children to live it. It's easy for our children to live it. So our foster daughter had just got there and she just saw, a place where she could do, something to give back to the society. What moved her? Empathy. When she was done, she won awards it was the best project in the state. She got jobs, all sorts of things. What is it? Empathy. Don't tell me that you cannot raise a child. You don't have to be. You need to begin to think, what can I give my child that will make my child go out there and become a star that they should be? Stop beating children and giving excuses for nothing. Go and learn what exactly you need to do for the child. Empathy drives people to be able to influence their world. Empathy. But before you have that empathy, you must have empathy on yourself. Teach your children that self-care is key. That's one of the things that we've been able to do. That's one of the things that you've been able to do. Empathy helps you parent from a place of fullness. It also helps your children have empathy on you. If I don't project empathy, my daughter will not. She will come and be. I have seen people raise very entitled, stupid children. And you're wondering, what is that? Children are so entitled. No form of empathy. Why? You're not projecting it. You're not projecting. You're busy sparing the rod. You're not projecting empathy. You need to learn to teach your children empathy. You need to encourage independence and problem solving. Encourage independence and problem solving. Many times when our children, do something, we let them solve their problems themselves. This morning we woke up with, no, it's not my whistle. So they came to argue who owns what. And we just took it and put it in our drawer, and then we continued, in our room. And then we came out, in the morning, and breakfast was made. We were looking around, but people are eating now. The children were eating. They've come to make breakfast for themselves. So my husband and I came out and said, I thought you guys were eating. So we went to the kitchen, and we were making breakfast. And we were making breakfast. Apologies for that. I was booted out completely on two networks. I don't know what happened exactly, but I was completely booted out completely. So sorry about that. We're back on. I apologize. All right. So where was I? I was talking about empathy, and then I said you should encourage independence and problem solving. You need to understand that the moment you help your children become more independent, become, be able to solve their problems, then you will be able to now, remove yourself, from this whole thing. Right? Another thing you need to do is that you need to curb entitlement by teaching children about money early. You need to curb entitlement by teaching children about money as early as possible. All right. I see a lot of people, a lot of children get so entitled just because we're not teaching them exactly what they need to do per time. Okay, all right. You need to also be thoughtful about your consequences. I've already shared that. Be thoughtful about your consequences. Be thoughtful about the things that you're doing. All right. Think through your process. Don't just parent like everything is just okay. All right. Don't parent like everything is just okay. Think. You need your process. You need your head in your parenting journey. You need your head in your parenting journey. Another thing that you must do is that you must be aware of the things that is making you distance yourself from your children. There are a lot of them. The things that is making you distance yourself from your children. Is it because of the way you're raised? Is it because of the limiting beliefs that you have? Is it because of the things that you think your children should be per time? These are some of the things that can actually limit you. One of the things that I say in my book, Connect to Correct, is that relationship trumps control in parenting. You must do away with control. Your control should come from the influencing part. Your control for your children should come from the part where you are influencing. Stop forcing. Like I said earlier, there's limitation in force. Influencing has no limitation. Begin to influence your children. All right, I had seen a question earlier. This is where I begin to wrap up. But most importantly, I want to make emphasis this evening on you beginning to project the things you want to see in your children. If you project the things you want to see in your children, it will help you be able to parent even better. You need to change. Don't sit in this conference today and say, oh, wow, the things that they've shared in this conference was explosive. People have come on my inbox, told me, oh, God bless you, explosive conference. That's not what we want. We want you to make a change. We want you to start a journey. As simple as getting a book, Connect to Correct, to start a journey, starts off your journey. As simple as getting a book From Yelling to Calm starts off your journey. As simple as getting the book, the Discipline That Works, starts off your journey. Don't give excuses about this thing. We're going to go back to the Creator, who will ask us tomorrow, how did you raise this seed that I gave you? Nobody is giving a plant and the plant is not doing well and they toss the plant around. People go and read on how they will influence a plant so that the plant can grow well. Yet we think that we do not need to acquire knowledge to raise the most precious thing that God has given us. I like to say this to parents. It is not just about you. It's about the society at large. The theme of this current conference says, creating a better world through parenting. That's the theme of this conference. Creating a better world through parenting. How do you create a better world through parenting? Yourself, your siblings. I was sharing with the VIP group recently, and I was saying to them, I even had my own parents-in-law go through the courses that I create. Because I want everybody to be aware of what I'm talking about. If you have bought the books, buy for your siblings. I've had parents, in fact, I had a parent whose sister, who paid for the sister to go through one of our courses. The sister called me and said, when I was about to be, I was very reluctant. But after I paid and I went through this course, I agreed that knowledge, forget this thing you're going on Google. You say you want to go on Google. How many things have you heard on this conference have you found on Google? Have you found it on Google? Where? Somebody is asking me about ritual talks. It was created in my home. Ritual talks are what we do with the children every night before they go to sleep. Ritual talks can be reading a book. Many times it's conversations. Our parenting is full of lots of conversations. You want to recreate your parenting to give you the conversational part and make it work. Yesterday was Mary Betty who was talking about that for you to actually help your child find photos, you need to listen. You need to listen. All right? So ritual talks are, what we do every day before the children go to sleep. Every day. Every day. And when parents say, no, I don't know, I don't have time to do this. You have time. You have time. That time you're using to go and chat with your friend that you have not done what. You can use it now and do something. Many times we have a phone drop session in my house where phones are dropped completely. Drop your gadgets. When you say, oh, I'm busy, I'm doing something, I'm selling, you're not as busy. Our company runs online completely. Yet we find time. My husband is busy, extremely busy. Yet he's extremely involved. In this past 1 week, my husband has either done the ritual talk himself, or he has done cooking, or he has just played with the children, just so that I will be doing what I'm doing in this period. And even when I'm done, a lot of the times when it's not late, I still go back to have 1 or 2 words with the children. You need to create a system. You need to create a system. All right? You need to create a system. Stop leaving everything to chance. Whatever you don't plan, don't work. Whatever you don't plan, don't work. The other day I shared about my journey as a child chorister. And I was talking about, I grew up a Catholic, and I was a child chorister. And I was talking about how much planning, if you're a Catholic, you will understand what I'm saying. I'm talking about how much planning goes into producing one song in the Catholic Church. My goodness. And you wonder why the Catholic choir is as strong and as effective. Planning. You will learn and learn. Were there times where these choirs fumbled? Yes, they were. But you know the truth, they never went to the ground. Were there times where you will fumble on this journey when you plan? Yes, you will. But you know the truth, you will know what to do. So this journey is not about, oh, when you come to learn, nothing now goes wrong. It is a lie. Things will go wrong. The difference will be, I know exactly what to do. And if I don't know, I can find help and I know where to get it. Stop thinking that going to take parenting courses is because you don't know what you're doing. No. In fact, it's actually been stated that it's a kind of emotional stability to be able to seek help. I seek help myself. A lot of times I have. The things that I don't understand, I bring in someone to teach me. I'm not afraid of it. I bring in someone to teach me. And I learn and I become better for it. So you need to begin to do that with yourself. All right. So we can take questions as we're going. Someone is asking how they can get my book. My book is on my website, www.wendyologe.com, or you can reach us with this number that is streaming live on the screen, and you'll be able to get the book. You can get the book and pick up in your location. Dear parents, please do not allow our efforts in this conference to go in vain. Do not allow our efforts in this conference to go in vain. Get to work. Get to work. This night, there were things I heard at the conference that I have implemented as you're looking at me now. Create a system that works. Get to work. Stop saying all these things that they are telling us. Do they even know what they are saying? Yes, they know. If you go and read the history of everybody who have changed their world, you will begin to understand that people who change their world actually learned to do, their parents did something differently. Their parents did something different. The question you need to ask yourself is, what are you doing differently? If you must change your world, then you will need to. It's not want to. Because only changed people can change their world. Only changed people can change their world. That's Bishop Oyedepo. He said, until Peter became changed, he couldn't change his word. Peter became changed. He couldn't change his word. If you're not a fighter, you can't be a winner. Start your journey. Start your fight. This parenting waka, it's a real waka. Trust me. It's a real one. All right. Somebody said, what can a married woman whose spouse believes he's only role in the family is material provision and parenting, and all others are for woman. Whose spouse believes his role in the family is material provisions and parenting, and all others are for the man. All right. One thing that I change is that nobody gets changed with force. You can't force people to change. And stop thinking that there's something you're going to do something. You're going to do something that that will change your spouse. Now, as the conference, don't come out of this conference and go and say that's what you heard at the conference. They said men must get involved. Please, there's a process. There's a process to begin to get your husbands involved. We have about over 80 parents in the VIP exclusive parenting group in the academy. It's an annual conference. No, people have been asking me if they can join. No, you can't join until 2021. Sorry, it's an annual coaching group. You can't join till 2021. If you want to join, you can join our waiting list. We have limits. I think we have about 50 people on the waiting list for 2021. We're not taking people again because we don't want to mix it up. We're not taking people again. So you need to wait, join the waiting list and join. But one of the things that we've been able to do is that we've been able to walk parents through their process. It's not a one-day thing. There are parents in that exclusive class who are still journeying with their spouses. But the good thing, there are visible results. So if you want to be able to journey with your spouse in that way, then you might want to begin to do it small, begin to subtly sell it, market it to your spouse. Even you. I know that it's difficult for many people to believe in most of the messages, but a lot of people are buying it small. So you need to also know that new knowledge is difficult to actually embrace. So you need to understand that, so that when you're dealing with your spouse, you're not forceful. Don't force your way through, which is the same thing we do with our children. No one learns through force. No one. You need to begin to think of ways that you can help your children, do this, help your spouse do this better. He said the home values ma. Do you think that posting it everywhere in the house helps? Since I don't have an immigrant, they can also see it everywhere. Oh yes, you can paste your values. Can paste it on the board. We have even boards in our children's room. We paste stuff on the fridge. So when my children want to do stuff, they paste on my doors. We paste. We're pasting family. We paste our connection tools. We run a connection tool that we run with the VIP Academy people. We also run it in my home. We paste it in my room or in their room. So we paste. So please, by all means, all right. What is the meaning of control in parenting? What is the meaning of control in parenting? Okay, someone is asking Chinyerobin and saying, what's the meaning of control in parenting? Control means that you can influence. There's a lot of things you can control using influence. And when you do, it's a lot more easier. You can control, for instance, what your children will read, not by forcing them. You can control what your children should have access to, not by forcing them. When you force them, you create a false illusion about that concept. When you force a child, you create a false illusion. The child becomes more curious about that concept. How many of us were told not to do something when we were growing up that we didn't do, even though we were afraid, even though we were forced to? So it creates a limit. It creates a limitation for you. So you can have control through influence. What I tell parents is that you can control anything if you can influence your child. You can only control people that, I don't even like to use the word control, but for the purpose of this question, you can only actually be able to influence people that trust and respect you. So it's about influence. Leadership is about influence. Why do you think people behave the way their leaders behave? For instance, in church, you see people wear, a kind of hair because the overseer wears that kind of hair. It's influence. Influence is a very strong thing. Both negative and positive influence has so much, to give. So you can actually wear lots of control with your influence, not with force. So don't force your child through your process. Let your child speak your truth. Speak truth, universal truth, because your truth might not be the truth. Like Coach Sam said, your values might not even, because you're limited. You're limited. You need to find out what is the truth about a particular thing and speak it. Sometimes what you know, there's a limitation to what you know. So you might be thinking, I know it now, but there might be a limitation to exactly what it is that you know. So begin to look at it again and begin to restructure. All right. Somebody said, I especially just wanted to see what was bad in it. Okay, I didn't get that question, Ajibola. If you ask it again, I'll be able to give it a voice. And we're going to be rounding up, soon. In the next 10 minutes, when we're done with these questions, we'll round up, and that will be right at the end. So let's get a question, Ajibola, again. So what I'm saying is, when you use fear, connection parenting is about connection. It's about you being able to influence someone, not about forcing someone to meet your demands, not about forcing someone to become, like you, not about, you can influence someone to become like you without having to force them. All right. He said, what if children don't want to be mentored? And it seems you are forcing them, since you said no forcing. How do you mean they don't want to be mentored? There's something that we say. You don't have the answer to all your child's problems. You don't. You are limited. You're limited. If you need to find out for your child, please do. Mary Beth yesterday shared that she had to get a mentor for her son. I've also shared with you today. Now I have a groomed, this kind setting where my children already know that this is it. This is who needs to do this for you. You can't do everything for your child. You cannot do everything for your child because you're limited in yourself. You're a limited person. You're limited. Find help. Help will help you. Help will help you understand this concept. So if your children are being, you want to mentor them and they are not yielding, then there's a method to use. There's also a way. Don't also come to this conference and say, they've shared, all this free, it's free conference. We've learned all the things we need to learn. Go through it. If there are areas you need help, please find help. Your ability to know that your emotions, your mental health is in check is that you're beginning to ask for help. Asking for help is what actually puts you in the right frame of mind. Ask for help. Don't get overwhelmed. People usually ask me, how do you cope? How do you do this one? How do you do this one? I just look at them and it's usually very funny because I'm not coping. I'm okay. All right? I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm not overwhelmed. When I get overwhelmed, I step back. So you need to be able to create a system that supports you. Help will help you. So you need to help you. Remember, parenting is about you and not your child. So help yourself to help your children. Help yourself to help your children. You need to understand that you are limited in yourself. Yes, you can't do everything for your child. You are limited in yourself. You are limited in yourself. You are a limited being. The child is too complex for you to know everything, can do everything. You're limited in yourself. So while you're working your process, when you need help, find help. When you need help, find help. Someone said, I am making progress. Okay, I'm making progress with my 4-year-old after doing your books. But my almost 2, ignoring his tantrums doesn't work. This is another conversation altogether. I hope you were in the session how to deal with toddler tantrums. But one thing that you must understand, like I said, you need to trust your process. You're just starting with your journey. Your 2-year-old, there's something called programs. When you program your child with yelling, for instance, that's why parents come and say, hey, I've tried, I've stopped yelling. 1 week after, my children are still yelling. When you program your child, in the discipline that works, I shared in part of the tools you need to use as a discipline that works is silence and deliberate modeling. Do you know what that means? It means that you keep quiet. and you program your children. So I got to my house some very last year, 2 years ago, and I entered the room. My parents had just moved into a new home, so I entered my room. They've moved our room, disorganized, a lot of things. And I entered and I saw lots of books, and then it dawned on me: my parents simply programmed us to be lovers of books. You have heard parents in this section. You heard ZOB yesterday. You heard Marybeth yesterday. Program your children. What value system are you creating? Everybody know me. My home is a moving library. Our values, books, is on the top shelf of our values. So it is natural for me to just keep quiet and deliberately model my children to read. It's easy. So you can use silence and deliberate programming. And when it comes to programming, it takes time. Programming takes time. Programming takes time. All right? All right? So somebody is saying, what if my child in a school that they flog them, and I'm not in that school? Okay, the teacher beat them. Since I'm against beating, I told them my children are not in the school where they flog them. He said I've been brainwashed. Even if your child goes to a school where the child is flogged, right? And you have been able to teach your child that correcting anybody is not in force, your child will still understand it. Your child will still understand it. And it's also very important that your children are in a place where your value systems are covered. Now it's important. On toddlers, the first day you find that conference, the first day on our YouTube channel. All replays are on our YouTube channel. There's none on Facebook. All right. So if you're watching us on Facebook, all the replays are on YouTube channel. There's none on Facebook. So, and one thing that you must understand is that one of the things that you don't want to do is to parent in fear. In conclusion, one thing you don't want to do is to parent in fear. Our parenting today is based on fear. I call it panic parenting, based on fear. And while the parents think they are in control, they are actually ruled by fear. So you need to watch it. Are you parenting out of fear, or are you just, within caution? I say again, caution, not fear. Caution, not fear. You need to connect with your child because it's the foundation that you need for your child to have self-worth. Connection parenting is staying away from fear-based control and tactics. Staying away from things that will yield pain. That's what connection parenting is about. And you need to begin to walk through your journey today. Start your journey today. We will be so glad to have you and welcome you in the Intentional Parent Academy. If you will be so glad to have a process, working with you in this period, please do not leave these things to chance. Take action today. Take action today. Start your journey. Thank you again for joining me to TIP Annual Conference 2020. Unfortunately, my PA is off. I think network booted her out. Thank you for joining me at TIP Facebook conference, TIP Conference 2020. I want to say thank you to my team. My team has been awesome. Talking about overwhelm, my team actually ensured that nothing overwhelmed me in this period. The memes, the videos, and everything. You were just seeing me. I was like, just coming, out there, right? So, so it's important. Marybeth said, so parents saying if your child acts right, you should look for a reason to flog so you can fulfill scriptures. Do the work and get brainwashed. That's a good one. That's a good one. So it's, I keep saying that. So does it mean that when we do not flog our children and get results, does it mean that you are sinning? No, you're not. It only means that you are actually, doing, getting your results, being able to become more creative, being able to actually think through, those processes. I want to say thank you to everybody for joining me. And I also want to thank especially my yard people, the exclusive parenting group of the TIP Academy. I won't fail to say thank you to you all. You guys have been awesome, awesome support. Sometimes they chat some things that are, really silly, and we laugh about it. It's been a family. It's been a journey. You guys are so awesome. I don't take your support for granted. 80% and more, 80 parents and more. You guys are just amazing. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you, everybody who has logged in. Thank you to every member of the TIP Facebook group. You guys are loved. Thank you for everybody following us on YouTube. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have awesome content apart from the TIP conference. That's part of what you're going to do for us, is to follow us on all our platforms. So now I'm speaking for myself. Follow me on Wendy Ologe on Instagram. Follow us on The Intentional Parent on Instagram. And also follow us on YouTube, Wendy Ologe, The Intentional Parent. This conference has had over 10,000 views in the last 7 years. Amazing. If you haven't been here, please go back to these sessions, take in your book, and begin to actually read and go through again. I want to say thank you, especially to all of our speakers. Oh my God, they blew my mind. They blew my mind in all aspects. Me talking today was just, let's just come and wrap up. If not, everything I've said today, many of them have been said during this conference. So I want you to sit back again, catch up again, and begin to walk your journey intentionally. We're here to help you. That's what the Intentional Parent Academy is for. We're here to help you. We have an array of courses on the intentionalparentacademy.com, where you can go, both free and paid courses, where you can go through, take courses, begin to walk your journey. And if you need help, I am reachable, very reachable. My number is very public. Thank you so much. And once you get through these numbers, scrolling down on this screen, you will find me. You can call me if you have challenges. I've been privileged to work with thousands of parents in this lockdown alone. It's been such an honor. It's been such an honor you've been here supporting us through this journey. TIP Academy is grateful. Thank you to everybody. Thank you so much. Somebody said this conference means so much to me. You guys mean so much to us. Thank you so much for being here with us. TIP Annual Conference is wrapping up now. And I want to say thank you again to my team. My PA, my other PA was also not here. Precious. They've done an amazing job behind the scene. Awesome job, right? Thank you. And I want to say thank you again to all the support of all the coaches that I know that have, gingered, supported in every way. Shout out to you all. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. Thank you for joining me to create a better world through parenting. I don't take it for granted. And to all our 26 coaches, wow, from all over the world, I do not even know what to say. I am overwhelmed. We are grateful. We say thank you. Thank you again, the TIP family. Thank you, everyone who is here, who has been here from the beginning. There are names that I have seen from the beginning to the end. Esosa, I've seen Esosa in all the sessions. Chinyere Binna, even though she was a speaker, she's been in all the sessions. And I think Adobe, there have been lots of parents who have followed through back to back. It hasn't been, it's not something that we take for granted. We love you, we honor you, and we want your journey to be pleasant. Trust me, when you walk with us, you're going to have an amazing journey with us. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for being here as always. And this is us saying we have come to the end of the TIP Annual Conference 2020. Remember, don't forget, these are my last words. Remember to become a very intentional parent. That's what is written on my chest. A very intentional parent. Yes, I am a VIP. Join us to become a VIP. If you want to join any of our courses, reach out to me and you will have response. We are very prompt to our responses. Thank you so much. And please remember, add your family and friends. Share these videos to them for them to learn and see what we've done at the conference. And if you have any other thing that you will want, please reach out to us. And then only those who registered will get the freebies. We have lots of freebies already from all the coaches who have shared. It's been awesome. If you have registrations, all right, if you have registrations, then you're going to get all the freebies. Somebody's asking, when are we expecting the ebook? Which of the ebooks, please? Oh, ebook from me. Oh, sure, you're going to get that. Only registered participant is going to get that. I saw that my PA was already telling me that the ebook, had been worked on, and I'll take a look at it. And before the week runs out, you're going to get it right in your email. Thank you so much. Now we sign out, and this is the end of TRP Annual Conference 2020, the third edition of its kind. We're grateful, we thank God, and we thank you for being here.